Well, last week we began to talk a little bit about fear and discouragement. My job then was to get you all pumped up and going. And I have to say, if you're from Arizona, I'm not going to be able to help you. What a heartbreaker. But at least now I know which team I should have been rooting for. Anyway, I hope the fact that this is a three-part series and the group seems to be smaller today. I'm going to chalk that up to Super Bowl fatigue, or all those guys got a job, or something else. Okay, and we are building up here to what I really want to tell you, which is next week, and it was I guess more than we can handle in one sitting. Last time I introduced the thought of the inner man and the outer man, and I said that that's a biblical concept, that what goes on inside of us, what goes on around us, those two things are linked, but we have, if we're Christians, we have the Spirit of God living in us. We have our will and desire to do the things that are right, and yet, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you I have figured out how to handle every situation that's been thrown my way. In fact, I think the biblical message, when you look at the life of Abraham and others, is that as soon as you think you've got it, God will give you a test to show you what you don't have and to take you to the next level. Sometimes that's maybe what we're going through. I'm not going to stand here and tell each of you, I know what God is trying to do in your life. That's your job to figure that out. But I wanted to read a passage that talked very directly about this inner man, outer man idea. And it's out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4. The whole chapter is just a fantastic, very encouraging chapter. And but verses 16 through 18, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, go like this. Therefore we do not lose heart, but though our outer man is decaying, yet our inner man is being renewed day by day. For momentary light affliction, that's what we're going through now, is producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. While we look not at things which are seen, but at things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, the things which are not seen are eternal. It's one of the many, many paradoxes in the Bible. A paradox is something that seems to be a contradiction, but in fact it teaches a very important truth. The paradox is we live our life looking at that which cannot be seen. And that's probably the essence of what I want to tell you over these 3 weeks. Okay, what is it that we're looking at that in fact the rest of the world cannot see? In fact, there are people who are highly trained PhDs who will tell you it's not even there. So you got to deal with them also. This week, I just want to give some kind of practical examples. I hope these things are helpful. I'll just say that in my struggle, they've helped me, and I think the concept that I want to get across here is, but I'm just going to call it drawing strength out of disaster. Okay. In other words, if you can ever figure out how to take a situation that looks hopeless and pull from that situation the very strength and courage and motivation you need to go through it, then you got something. So you really got something there. I have to credit some of the salespeople I know. In fact, a lot of you sales guys, you don't even need anything I'm saying, because you know, 25 times you make phone calls, you don't get a response, they say no, or they say goodbye. And what do? Well, that means you're that much closer to the answer. And that's called unbounded optimism. And let me give you some examples that, and I think some of this gets back to what Peter says often, is that this is a lonely battle. You know, if we were all called to go out and fight a real battle, we would draw strength from each other. Okay, and that's why this whole process is so important. And what I'm going to say is, allow the difficulty, allow even the discouragement to give you additional motivation. Our son is an athlete, and much more so than I ever was. And he had a poster in his room that I'm going to have to paraphrase. I need to go find it and see exactly what it said, but it was something like this. Somewhere he is running while you are walking. Somewhere he's training while you are resting. Somewhere he's working while you're sleeping. When you meet, he will win. And that's like, oh, okay, I see the deal here. There is a competitive aspect to this, and I started thinking, okay, let me just come up with some images to give you, if they're helpful, good. If not, we'll go on to something else. But one I thought of was the Revolutionary War patriot. He's got his musket, he picks up his powder, he puts on what he has of a uniform or a jacket. He's walking out, his family is around his ankles, don't go, don't go. And he's looking at something that they don't see. He understands something they don't understand. And he doesn't get down there and start crying with them. He says, no, I've got a duty to go do. Another image I think of is of the fireman. I cannot imagine. Here's a house on fire. He gets there, they say there are 2 children in there. You've got to go in and rescue them. Well, he doesn't say, I think I'll go get a cup of coffee and wait for the heat to die down. You know, this is really not what I bargained for. In fact, what you find is that the very crisis gives energy to the person, the firemen, that go in there and do what needs to be done. How many of you have seen Fireproof? Fireproof, the movie. I think it's coming out on DVD. So if you're married, you know somebody that's married, or you'd like to be married, it's mandatory. I just think it's an excellent, it's a Christian movie that's really well done. But it's also got some pretty neat scenes about, you know, what it means to be a fireman. So there's another image that says, okay, I've got a difficulty here. What do I need to be better or worse? I mean, do I need to relax and take it easy?